No one ever imagined that Taylor Swift, the world's most powerful songwriter, kept something so dangerous hidden in plain sight. For years, rumors whispered around her inner circle about a book she guarded like treasure. Not a lyric notebook, not some draft of unreleased songs, but a personal diary, written during the darkest, most uncertain years of her career. It wasn't supposed to be found. Locked in a cedar chest, tucked inside her old Nashville home, the diary carried stories that could shake reputations, friendships, and even entire careers in the music industry. But when renovations uncovered the chest, the secret was out. Taylor had always been careful with her image. To the public, she was the girl who turned heartbreak into anthems, who stood fearless under the spotlight. But inside those pages were raw confessions, sleepless nights filled with paranoia, coded messages about betrayals from people fans adored, and names, real names, of stars who had once called themselves her allies. The first entries were almost innocent, written in the shaky handwriting of a 20-year-old navigating fame. But as the pages turned, they grew darker. One night in particular stood out, an entry dated during her 2016 disappearance from the public eye. She wrote about a meeting, one that never made it into tabloids, with a powerful figure who had demanded her silence. The tone of her words was nothing like her polished interviews. It was raw, fearful, almost like she knew too much. And then came the line that stopped the heart of the person who discovered it. If this ever comes out, they'll destroy me. And not just me, everyone close to me. Who was they? And what was she hiding? The diary had fallen into hands that weren't supposed to touch it. And once it was read, there was no way back. The person who stumbled upon the diary wasn't just an ordinary worker. He was a lifelong Swiftie who had begged for a chance to help with renovations at her old Nashville property. At first, it felt like destiny, finding a piece of Taylor's life that no one else had touched. But the deeper he read, the heavier the weight became. Taylor wrote about secret meetings in hotels where cameras weren't allowed, about contracts forced upon her when she was still too young to fight back. She described a night when she almost quit music altogether, not because of heartbreak, but because of a threat whispered to her face by someone powerful enough to erase her career in a second. There were hints about feuds that fans thought they already knew the truth about. But here, on paper, the explanations were different. Some beefs were staged to protect her from something worse. Others were cover-ups for betrayals that would have shocked the world if they had gone public. One entry in particular revealed a chilling encounter. They wanted me quiet. They said I had seen too much. They told me if I didn't play along, I'd lose everything. My music, my voice, my future. I was 26, and for the first time, I realized the industry wasn't just about songs. It was a battlefield. The worker's hands trembled as he turned the pages. This wasn't a story for tabloids or gossip columns. This was something darker. Taylor had been writing in code, dropping initials and cryptic references, but anyone with enough knowledge of the music industry could piece the puzzle together. The question wasn't whether the diary was real. It clearly was. The question was what to do with it now. If the wrong people found out it had resurfaced, both Taylor and anyone holding it could be in danger. And yet, the temptation was unbearable. What if the world knew the truth Taylor had been forced to hide? That was the dilemma burning in the worker's mind. But he didn't realize that by opening those pages, he had already set something into motion, something far bigger than himself. Because secrets that powerful never stay buried for long. Within days, whispers began to spread. No one knew how, but someone had noticed the diary was missing from the cedar chest. Taylor's team was quiet, but tension radiated around her circle. She had always been private, but now she was restless, her security tighter than ever. The worker who found the diary thought he could keep it safe, hidden in a backpack under his bed. But late at night, he started receiving strange calls from unknown numbers. When he answered, there was only silence, followed by the faint sound of music, one of Taylor's unreleased tracks that no one outside her studio should have had. Fear clawed at him. Somehow they knew. Whoever they were in Taylor's entries, they were still watching. Meanwhile, Taylor's diary entries revealed a side of her fans had never seen. She wrote about walking into meetings where men twice her age dictated her future like she was a pawn. She described cryptic symbols in contracts, codes that tied her music rights to secret deals fans couldn't imagine. She mentioned The Circle, a group she claimed decided who would rise and who would fall in the industry. One entry read, "I wanted to scream, but I stayed silent. Every time I thought I was free, they pulled me back in. My songs became my only weapon. The only way I could fight was to write in ways they couldn't censor." The worker realized the diary wasn't just a collection of personal thoughts, it was evidence. Evidence that could expose the hidden machinery behind the world's biggest stages. But evidence like that comes with a cost. On the third night, his apartment door was left ajar when he came home. Nothing was stolen, nothing touched, except the backpack. The diary was gone. Or so he thought. When he dumped the bag on his bed, the diary was still there, but a note was slipped inside it. In clean, sharp handwriting, it read, "Stop reading. Stop digging. Or you won't live long enough to finish." The warning should have been enough to stop him. But curiosity, mixed with fear, pushed him deeper. He couldn't let go of the idea that Taylor's words were more than confessions. They were proof of something far bigger than anyone had dared to speak aloud. He copied passages, hiding them on a flash drive. Every night, he read them like a codebreaker unraveling a secret history of pop culture. Taylor's diary spoke of betrayals, of friendships that had crumbled under pressure, of deals signed in shadows. She described one night vividly, a gala where cameras flashed endlessly, but behind closed doors, an ultimatum was delivered that changed the course of her career forever. The entries weren't just emotional, they were strategic. Taylor had left breadcrumbs, like she wanted someone to find them one day. References to initials, obscure song lyrics, even dates hidden inside rhymes. It was all there, waiting to be pieced together. But with every page, the worker's life unraveled. His phone glitched at odd hours, emails vanished. His friends noticed men watching from parked cars outside his building. He felt hunted. And then came the night he saw her. Taylor herself. Not on a stage, not in a magazine, but standing in the shadows near his building, wearing a hoodie, her eyes sharp but calm. She didn't speak at first. She just looked at him, then at the backpack slung over his shoulder. Finally, she whispered, "You weren't supposed to read it." His heart nearly stopped. He stammered out excuses, explanations, apologies. But Taylor didn't yell. Instead, she sighed, almost as if she expected this. "You don't understand," she said quietly. "That diary wasn't for the world. It was for me, to survive. If you keep it, you'll be dragged into the same trap I've been trying to escape." Before he could respond, headlights flooded the street. A black SUV pulled up, and men in dark suits stepped out. Taylor's expression hardened. "They're already here," she said. "And now it's too late." The SUV doors slammed, and the men advanced quickly. The worker froze, clutching the diary, while Taylor stepped between him and the approaching figures. Her voice was steady, but it carried the weight of years spent fighting battles no one else could see. "You don't touch him," she said. "This ends tonight." One of the men smirked. "You know the rules, Taylor. That book was never meant to exist. Hand it over." Taylor's eyes burned. "You've controlled me long enough. You've twisted every song, every headline, every move I've made. But this time, the truth isn't just mine anymore. It's his too." She pointed at the worker. He realized then, Taylor wasn't just protecting herself. She was giving him a choice. The diary wasn't a curse. It was a weapon. Heart pounding, he stepped forward. "If you take this, I'll make sure everyone sees what's inside. The files are already copied. You can't erase the truth." The men hesitated. For the first time, fear flickered in their eyes. Taylor gave the faintest smile, one that carried both exhaustion and triumph. The standoff felt endless, until the sound of sirens split the night. Police cruisers turned the corner, their lights flashing. The men retreated to the SUV without another word, vanishing into the dark. Taylor exhaled sharply, finally allowing her shoulders to drop. "You don't know what you've done," she said quietly. "But maybe it's what needed to happen." The worker tried to hand the diary back, but she shook her head. "Keep it safe. One day, when the world is ready, they'll understand. Until then, trust no one." With that, she disappeared into the night, leaving him alone with the book that had nearly destroyed them both. Weeks later, he kept the diary hidden, but the story haunted him. Every time Taylor stepped on stage, smiling as if nothing had happened, he knew the truth burned beneath the surface. The world adored her for her music, but if they ever discovered the pages she left behind, they would realize something far greater. Taylor Swift's greatest song was not a melody. It was survival.